If you're sitting there thinking which business should I start or what businesses are most successful, then this video is for you. Because in this video, I'm going to go through some of the options you have on what you should do and how you should pick a business that is going to make sure you make some decent money. Now, I recently saw that Shopify did a blog post where they mentioned 18 of the most profitable businesses that are out there. Now, some of these aren't a surprise as they mentioned fashion, fitness, logistics, real estate, and DIY. And the one thing that they all have in common is that these are all things that people need. One of the other things that all those businesses I mentioned before have in common is that they can be all service-based businesses to a degree. And service-based businesses tend to have a high margin and low startup costs, which is very attractive to those trying to start a new business from nothing. So to give you some examples of service-based businesses, you could be a bookkeeper, a personal trainer, you could be a driver, you could be a tech recruiter like myself, you could be a landscape gardener, a painter decorator, and the list goes on. The other option you have is a product-led business. Now, this can be a lot more time-consuming to set up, and it can also be a lot more expensive as you are going to have some kind of stock or materials in place. Now, typically when it comes to a product-led business, the margins are going to be a lot smaller. However, you can make sales in your sleep, which I guess is one of the good things. However, there are things that make product-led businesses a lot more difficult to manage, as you have storage, you have logistics to factor in, you're going to have potential returns, breakages, and this is going to eat into your margins and stuff that you have to factor in long term. And that's not even including marketing spend or ad spend to make sure that people see your products rather than others. Now, there is some high margin products that you can sell, like candles or jewelry or clothing, but you need to make sure that you've got good branding in the first place to make sure that you can warrant the price. So you're kind of in a catch-22 situation where yes, it doesn't cost you as much to make the stuff, but you're going to have to spend loads into branding. A good example of this is any kind of high-end fashion brand. Now, they might be able to sell their products for hundreds or thousands or whatever, but realistically, you're going to have to spend a lot of money on high-profile endorsements or events, or sponsoring a Formula One racing car or football team or whatever. So when you're playing at that level, it's probably going to be all relative. Now, to give you an example of some comparisons of these businesses, you could have a software development consultant versus a software developer who is making an app to sell. You could have a personal trainer who is upselling online meal plans and fitness plans, or you could have a personal trainer who is doing one-to-one coaching in a gym. Hopefully you get the idea. My preference is a service-based business, and when it comes to picking a service-based business, we need to pick something that we already know stuff about, or we have a level of qualifications or skill set in that area. Then it comes down to how well we can market that service better than our competitors to make more sales. Now, with service-based businesses, people tend to buy into the person that they're speaking with, more so than a brand or a product. People tend to buy from people, so if you are likable and credible and professional, you have a very good chance at making some good money. Typically with a service-based business, you are someone that is coming in to solve an issue or a problem. So let's say you're a HR consultant, you could be fixing a employment disagreement of some sort, or a tribunal, or if you're a lawyer, you're coming in to help with maybe litigation, or maybe you're coming in to help sell a house or buy a house. You are there essentially to fix a problem which could be a one-off. But the ideal service-based business is something that can have reoccurring revenue. So for example, like my tech recruitment business, companies tend to need to hire more than one person, and if you do a good job, they come back to you over and over again for a number of years, which means you've only had to technically do one set of selling to win that customer, rather than having to go and win new customers by selling all the time over and over again. So that means we'll have less churn and burn when it comes to clients, so we might not have to do as much sales as time goes on, as essentially we are building up equity and goodwill with the sales that we are doing at the start of the business. Now, if you have a landscaping business, grass is only going to be cut in the summer typically, so that can factor into how much money you're going to make, as there's going to be a shorter period where you can make good money. And that's something that you also need to think about when picking a service-based business. Now that we've picked a service-based business, we hopefully have something that we're good at and we know and we have some kind of experience in. Next, we hopefully have picked a service-based industry that has reoccurring revenue, which means we can easily get customers and get repeat business. Next up, I want to talk about payments and getting paid, as that is the bit that everyone likes. Ideally, when we start a business, we want to make sure that we have a business model that makes sure we get paid very quickly. Now, having a recruitment agency business like myself, that means that the sales cycle can be very long. You can imagine there's a couple of weeks to find the person and do interviews. Then there's potentially a 3-month notice period, and then there's going to be 30-day payment after that. So that means you could potentially be looking at almost half a year to get paid from starting the work, which means it can be difficult to manage your cash flow. So this is why it is important to make sure that you can get deposits or retainers, or you can get partial payment up front to make things easier for you. The other thing to think about payments and when you get paid is the type of businesses that you deal with. Let's say you have a business in the construction industry and you're doing B2B, so business to business, and you do some work for a big company. They're going to want to pay you on at least 30-day payment terms, and then they're probably going to be late on top of that, because realistically, no one, for some reason in business, ever seems to pay on time. I think in the past 6 years of having my own business, I can count on maybe 2 or 3 fingers the number of times that someone has paid me early. Whereas if you do B2C, so business to consumer, you tend to get paid straight away or on the same day of completing that service, which is a big difference maker. So it's definitely worth thinking what kind of customers you are going to try and chase. And this is all stuff that can affect our cash flow, which is going to be one of the most important things when we start our business. The other thing to think about is making sure that you have solid payment terms and that you have gone through all these and these get agreed before you start doing any work for anyone. Because one of the worst situations you could be in is that you do all this work, people don't agree to the payment terms, and then drag things out to pay you, which is a terrible feeling. And I can vouch for this firsthand, as I've had customers that have paid me weeks and weeks way too late, even though payment terms have been agreed, but because someone in finance says, oh, we don't do things until this date. And unfortunately, this is the way it is sometimes when you deal with larger businesses compared to just normal people. So now that we have picked a service-based business with not much startup, good margins, reoccurring revenue, hopefully good payment terms, and something that we know, like, and can do fairly easily, there's one more thing that we need to think about, and that is trying to upsell. Now, we want to try and see if we can upsell other services that are fairly similar to what we are doing, or maybe we want to try and upsell products that we can either have an affiliate or recommendation or some kind of kickback on. The important thing here is to make sure that we have options to match the customer's needs. This can be a great way to improve our margins and top up our sales and improve the work that we've already done into something that is going to make more money than we first expected. Now, most service-based businesses do have some kind of product that would complement what they already do, but you might just have to sit there and work out what it's going to be. A great example of a service-based business that also sells products to top things up would be a dentist, as they also sell toothpaste and brushes and floss and things like that. Now, selling toothpaste on the side isn't exactly going to make them rich, but it is going to be a nice top up when you add it all in every month, every year. Hopefully this video has helped you in deciding what kind of business would work for you. If you have any questions, comment below and I'll come back to you as soon as I can, and I will see you soon in the next one.